All right, Carolina Preps fans, Spring Football Tour 2025 here in Johnston County at Clayton High School. Coach Scott Chadwick. Coach, first time I visited with you here at Clayton. Great setup, and you guys have just done some great job. I won a lot of football games here in the past couple of years. How's everything going with this spring, looking up to the new season?
Well, I've been trying to tell you to get out here. I've been trying to tell you it's a good place to be, and we're excited about where the program is right now. Like you said, we've won a decent amount of games here the last couple of years, but trying to kind of take that next step this season, and spring is obviously a big part of that for us. Trying to continue to develop our guys here in the off season, but also evaluate, see where our guys are, and still be able to install some things. And so it's been fun being out here the last couple of weeks and just kind of seeing where these guys are right now.
Great spring day, by the way, out here at Nixon Fowler Stadium. Two incredible coaches here in this Clayton community. I was looking at the scoreboard. It says Clayton the tradition. So this truly is one of those, I guess, community atmospheres and community schools.
No question. It's a great place to be a football coach. You've got a town here that loves football, a town here that supports the program, but you also have a school and an administration here at the school that understands the value of football and its importance to the school and the town. And I think what's great is a lot of times you go places and they tell you that they want to support you and they say we support you, but the town and the school shows that, they show their support and they do things, with their resources, with their time, with their energy. You certainly feel the support, from the school and from the town. And like I said, as a football coach, it's a great place to be a high school football coach.
You mentioned the spring workouts, your opportunity here to do some skill development, moving into the summer 7-on-7s and summer workouts, and obviously before the practices begin in August. What's most beneficial part of it to you as a coach? Terminology and putting in plays and installation, or seeing the guys compete? Like, what do you get out of the spring here?
We've told our guys all along, and as coaches we talk about, our spring has three parts to it. One, we want to continue the development piece. We take a lot of pride in the fact that the guys that come into our program as freshmen, that through the years we develop them. And whether it's our weight training program, which again, our school makes sure that all of our guys are in weight training every day. So that's a big piece of what we do here. So here in the spring, we want to continue to develop them. We want to get part of our install in. We want to make sure that when we get to June, and like you said, we go to 7-on-7s, that we're ready for that. We'll have a 7-on-7 the first Tuesday in June, and we will be ready for it because of what we've done in the spring. But the third piece of what we do is evaluate. We need to evaluate where our players are, and see who's got a chance to be on the field for us, and really just kind of help build our end of spring depth chart.
Okay. Mentioned the spring depth chart. I was going to parlay into my next question here. I know you got a ton of great kids. You got some that have incredible college offers, and that will definitely be playing on Saturdays. But who are maybe some of those young up-and-coming guys that maybe aren't as familiar to the fans here in Clayton that you think could step up and be in some good roles this fall?
I think offensively, one of the guys that's had a really good spring so far is Terrace Hobbs. Was our second leading rusher from the running back spot last year. He's grown. He's gotten bigger and stronger. He's a little bit faster, and he's going to play a variety of different roles for us. Obviously as a running back, but he's going to play some receiver for us as well. Kind of feel like he's had a really, really good spring for us. He's not new or not young, but River Fiore, our tight end, was a big part of our offense last year and is going to be even a bigger part. Tyler Campbell's kind of been overshadowed a little bit by some of our other receivers, but he kind of steps into that number one receiver role for us this year. Defensively, I would say there's a guy in our secondary, Tayshawn Walker, that started every game for us as a sophomore last year, that's had a great offseason, and kind of feel like he's going to really take that next step to be right there with some of our other big time recruits. And obviously we've got certainly Keyshawn Stansel.
Sure.
Aiden Smalls was our conference offensive player of the year last year. Noah Smith, our leading rusher, is back from last year. And A.K. Crummell back there in the secondary. He's got offers from, Ohio State and USC, so like you said, we've got some top end talent, but, the key for us is going to be, the quote other guys
Sure.
and how well they develop.
Sure. I guess one final question here. You're in probably one of the toughest 7A conferences, and the state realigned. No longer the traditional 1 through 4 classes. Now we got 8. You guys are in the 7, in a very tough 7A only league with some Raleigh teams, Garner, Southeast Raleigh, Cleveland down the street. How do you feel about the way the realignment shook out for y'all?
Well, like you said, I don't think there is a top to bottom tougher 7A conference. There's no off nights in this conference, and there's an awful lot of talented guys. When you look at the some of the recruiting rankings, there's a lot of guys from our conference that are involved in there. But I still think at the end of the day, when you look at where we are, you look at Southeast Raleigh, you look at Garner. At the end of the day, we're all still chasing Cleveland. Those guys haven't lost a conference game in years, and until somebody can do that, I still think you have to put them at the top of things. And but I think that conference will certainly prepare us, hopefully, for November and December.
I agree. Well, Coach, I appreciate you allowing me to come out here and spend some time with you, talk some football, and best of luck this spring and into the season.
Always a pleasure to have my man Chris here.
Thank you, sir.